from England. We fucking come up here every fucking year. A second time in Glasgow, a fifth time in Scotland. We can't get into motherfuckers. Walking on you fucking talking. Do yourself a fucking round of applause! I wanna see you motherfuckers back in your head. Are you with me?
Welcome to the Doomsday Report. Now this week I'm being joined by a band that's travelled all the way out from Northampton, not too far from my hometown. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Krysthla.
Yes!
How's it going, guys? How was the journey?
We're all right, mate.
We had a quick blowout on the way up, but
Yeah, we had a flat tyre too.
we got that changed and we're here. It's good.
Alright, so have you, on this tour, have you played any gigs on the way up to here, or is this just the first gig on the tour?
First one of 3. So we're here today in Glasgow, and then we're in Dundee tomorrow, and Inverness on Sunday.
And this is all for the Hordes X tour, yeah?
That's correct,
Yeah,
with Paul McMillan.
Now the first question I'd love to ask you guys is, how did you all get together? You know, how did the band come to be?
You need to go back about 25
Yeah,
years.
this goes back a long way.
Does it?
Adi and myself were in a band in like 94, something like a thrash band called Violation a long time ago. And at the same time, I moved into his house, and then we formed a band.
It was a rent boy.
Yeah, that's pay my way, mate.
expensive,
Yeah, and then we formed a band as well, and that became Gutworm. And then we did that for a few years, and then we sort of called it a day. Kind of, we had a little break around about 2009, 2010, and then I started demoing some new material, so I was bored. And it turned out to be pretty decent. And I messaged Carl and a couple of lads and said, "Would you fancy having another go at it?" And they're like, "Yeah, okay." But I didn't want to do any singing on this song, so I used to do the vocals and get one. I really didn't. I'm sick and tired of the sound of my own voice, to be honest. And I was like, "How about we get the Grandmaster in, and we'll drag him out of retirement from like Violation days?" And yeah, we sort of did it that way, and we've been together ever since, unfortunately.
And that was the birth of Krysthla.
Yeah,
2012. Yeah.
Now, going through your previous gigs, you've travelled a lot of miles. You've played a lot of memorable gigs. Now, for you personally, what's been your favourite out of all of them?
Bloodstock was a good one.
Yeah, I think
Bloodstock was a good one.
Bloodstock would be the highlight this year.
Yeah, it was
Playing on the main stage is a massive boon for us. Big
honour.
Yeah, it's a big honour.
That was
That's
good,
nice.
wasn't it?
And it's been
loads.
gigs to
There's
me,
been a
wasn't
lot, hasn't
Yeah, we've done some really good gigs.
it? Obituary in Milan.
Yeah,
that was good.
Obituary in Milan.
How was that? How did you land that one then?
We just got approached for it. We just got a call one day. It's like, it's just luck of the draw, really. You get a call and it's just like, "Can you do it?" And we were already going to support Vader in the Baltic states.
Right.
So this was literally about 2 or 3 days before, wasn't it? And they said, "Do you want to do this on the way out?" We're like, "Yeah."
So that was Vader
straight
and Obituary in
Yeah.
the same
2
tour.
weeks, we did 2 weeks with Decapitated as well, all the way down to
2016. Yeah.
So we've had some really good gigs. We don't really mind what size they are, as long as people go for it, if you know
And
what
as
I
long
mean.
as they
Yeah.
shows if they're enjoying themselves.
That's it. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Now, how many times have you actually played Bloodstock? Because I know you played the Sophie stage as well, haven't you?
We did 2016.
As this
As
band,
16.
we've played it twice. We did
Yeah.
the Sophie stage in 2016, and then we played the main stage this year. But I know that Gutworm played it when it was
Played it
indoor.
2004.
Yeah, 2004.
And my
And then
old
you
band
played it.
Deadeye played the very first open air one on what was the Metal to the Masses stage. So
Like the new one.
yeah.
2015.
Yeah,
So
and he
we-
played
we-
2015 with his
That's
old
right,
band.
yeah. That's right, yeah. So we've had quite a lot of experience at Bloodstock, and it's like that. I mean, we go every year anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
we love the place. It's absolutely fantastic.
Right, now with the release of your new album, Worldwide Negative, how's that been received? And has it been like a different reception to your previous 2 albums?
It's been good.
Yeah, it's been extremely well received. In all fairness, I think both the first 2 albums were really well received, which has been excellent. But I think because we took a little bit of a slight twist in the approach to some of the songs, there's a lot more light and shade, a couple of clean vocals, and we just generally let the music spread out a tiny bit on this one. And I think people who know their music see when a band is trying to move away a little bit and just reach out a bit further. And I think a lot of people are going, "Yeah, this is bloody good effort, actually, lads. Well done." So it's been really well received so far. So yeah, it's good. All good.
The reviews have been really, really positive. We were obviously slightly nervous because when you try to unroll something a little different, you can always receive a backlash.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have at all.
No,
to be
not
fair.
so great.
It's been really
That's
cool.
been really good.
See, when I was reading up on it, it was saying that it was placed in at number 2 in the Amazon chart.
That's right, yeah.
Only behind Slipknot's new album, by the way.
Dickheads.
You know? So how did that feel? You know,
Oh, I was annoyed. All right, number one, bloody Slipknot.
Thought we should got some
well,
masks.
It's really cool when you have people that will go out and buy your album before even hearing it, and it was a pre-order chart, so it shows that because we've played up and down the country, we've picked up people who are genuinely interested in the band. So
There was hunger for
yeah,
it.
so to get that was pretty cool. I mean, I think it took us a little by surprise too. So
I suppose that's the advantage with like mass touring. You gather them new fans from like the areas that you go to.
Yeah.
Now, what's the furthest you've travelled for a gig?
Athens.
Athens.
yeah, I heard it was.
That's
wasn't it?
furthest from home.
For me and the band, Edinburgh.
It'd be Inverness, wouldn't it? It'd be
Edinburgh.
Inverness.
It will be, but I haven't done it yet, so.
All right. So now, see, when it comes to the actual album itself, do you have like personal favourite tracks on it to play?
Yes.
Grief is New Love.
Grief is New Love. Yeah,
That's just all out in your face for 5-6 minutes, isn't it?
Cheeky one.
The last track.
You like the gift, don't you?
Yeah, that is a good song.
I like Psalm of Heartlessness. So everybody's got a different favourite.
My favourite changes as well.
And it seems to be the case with people who have bought the album or listened to the album. Everybody has a different favourite, which is kind of cool. So it means basically the whole album's got fans across the whole of the songs. And I think the best thing about the new album, as far as I'm concerned, is each song has its own identity, and it sounds individual from every other track as well. So it gives everybody something that they can grab onto and like, and that's what seems to be the case.
And what are your plans for the album? You know, are you going to be going into Europe with a tour again? You know,
We're looking at that, aren't we?
Yeah,
We're trying a few different avenues. We want to do as much as we can with what we've got. If we can get out to Europe again, we were supposed to go out in the summer and something fell to pieces, which was a real shame because that had been a couple of weeks with a US band. But unfortunately, that fell apart. So hopefully something else will come along, and that's what we're trying to work for.
A bit nervous the Brexit situation, really, with
that's a pain in
what the
the arse.
situation's going to be and like the legalities of going over there, and we're it's an expensive business going over there. You've got to have your roots all set. You've got to have your budget set properly before you go to make sure that everything you still earn money. And with the Brexit situation, there's been a few promoters sort of saying we'd like to do X, Y, Z, but we've got to wait, and so it's sort of in a little bit of suspense at the moment.
oh, well, that's what you were saying inside, that you're pretty much a self-sustaining band.
Yeah.
You know, you've not got the backing of like big fucking corporate labels or anything like that.
No, we row our own boat, and
So you don't answer to anybody either.
no, we don't. The only person we have who works closely with us is our PR man, Rob Stampede, and other than that, we've sort of climbed up the ladders by ourselves, and everything we've earned, I think we've earned through hard work. Is a fair
You're right on.
Yeah.
We've stretched our bootstraps, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the first time I saw yous was the Metal to the Masses final last year. You was like guest headliners.
Ivory Blacks.
Yeah, and what can I say apart from I was pissed as hell. Yeah,
Good lad.
it helps. It was my stag do. You know,
I remember that.
it got a bit messy that night. So I'm just glad that I'm finally getting to catches again. It's even better that I'm getting to interviews. Now, if you was to give a shout out to all of your fans throughout Britain, and further fans in Europe, what would you say to them?
Keep up the good work. Keep
Yeah,
coming to the shows. Keep
Support us.
listening to the album.
I
And
think thank you first and
massive.
foremost. If you've come and seen a show, if you've bought a CD or a T-shirt or a patch, if you're helping us, you help every band if you go and see them. I'm not going to knock on about the scene and all the rest of it, but it does help, and it puts petrol in our van, and we'll come and see you, and we'll keep coming to see you because we enjoy doing it. So thank you very much. And
Quite loads of stuff.
Oh well, that's awesome. So how many songs are you playing tonight? Is it the full album?
Be about 8 or 9.
we're doing
Nine
three
tracks.
tracks off the new album.
Right.
We're doing 2 off the first album. All the other ones are off a piece in our time. So it's kind of an even spread of all 3 albums.
Nice one. So
Three,
it's
two,
quite a nice mixture then.
Yeah.
Nice one. Well, it's been a pleasure chatting to you guys. I have to move on because time constraints and everything. But what can I say from I'm looking forward to your performance tonight.
Yeah, we are. Thanks, buddy.
He's sober this time. He's going to go, you guys suck. I was hammered last time.
Well, what can I say apart from I've been Esteban, this has been Krysthla, and this has been the Doomsday Report. Keep it metal.
Keep it metal.
How you doing, guys?